Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Probably accompanied by various birds singing. There's a chaffinch having a go, that one. And there's a robin joining in every now and again. Various other things. This video is called Coming Soon, so it's not really a garden update, it's a look at things that will be very soon rather than long term, if you see what I mean. And the first thing is the lily of the valley. Tiny little white bells, and they're just starting to open. It's not going to look much this year because it looks like there's only a small portion of it that's going to bloom, but it's going to form a nice clump this year. Next year it should be a mass of blooms, so that will be good. Getting down there's okay. Aquiledias, well on their way now. Now I don't remember specifically, but knowing my way that my colour palette works, there were some dark purple ones and some very delicate pale ones. These are likely to be the delicate pale ones because they're in the shadier section, and lighter colours will light up a shadier section. Darker colours fade away and look better in bright light, perhaps. That was probably the theory. Hart's tongue ferns are going to have some nice long new leaves soon. That will brighten the place up to go along with this fern, which is pushed on really well. More aquiledias over here. These will be flower spikes, and I'm pretty confident that will be the dark one. Now over here, lots of things are growing, but the thing that's probably going to come into flower sooner rather than later is this stuff. These long shoots will have flowers on them. I think it's a type of campanula, a sort of low growing one rather than the tall lousy one. Forms good ground cover like that and does flower, and if it's trimmed back after flowering it'll do it again, so that'll be good. Things coming back into growth. I suspect that will be the first foxglove to get flower spikes on it. In fact, there's the buds, so we will have foxgloves in the not too distant future. Right, that's that bit. Over the other side now. That's some more of the campanula there, another big clump. Hannah put that in, I think. This is probably going to be the first geranium to bloom. Yes, we've got flower buds showing here. So we will have, these are blue I believe from memory. So we will have blue geraniums coming soon. And these are the same, so there'll be plenty of those along the hedge. Not much else is going to be in flower, I don't think, that isn't already. No, I don't think so. This is probably still quite a long way off blooming because this is a summer bloomer, so not yet. Over here the rosemary is already coming into bloom, but this is blooming on the older sections. I'm not sure it blooms on the new growth. What we will have is lavender soon. This is pushing on nicely. There's two different types in there, French and English, so these are pushing on. This will be in bloom in the not too distant future, and I suspect that if we look carefully, no, not yet, not yet. What about the other one? No, I don't think so. Buddleias to come, but it is a bit early for those to be thinking about blooming. They just need to grow on well, which is what they seem to be doing. So, and these two bits of lavender that came from Carol that have looked dead all winter, they are actually growing. So they'll be a bit woody as a base, but it'll be up to me to keep them trimmed so that it's the new growth that we look at, which will then bloom, of course. So we should have 2 nice clumps of lavender. There's a fair bit of this looks dead over here. I might have to trim part of it off, but this is certainly growing okay. And out of the ground cover plants, this one is quite well advanced. That's pushing on nicely. And again over there. And this very pale one, need to get this ivy trimmed back now. It's the time of year that this starts pushing out, trying to grow outwards, so we need to get that trimmed back so that we can see our plants that are along here. So the rose, no sign of buds yet, but it's a strange rose because it loses its leaves in the winter. Never known a rose do that. The oak trees need pulling out, or at least cutting off below ground level. We don't want an oak forest. And this is a geranium that lives in under the ivy, and it dies back. So that will be coming again. But what's important is a little bit has escaped. That is big enough to separate off, because otherwise the strimmer will get it. So I'm going to literally dig that out, and then that can go in a gap over here, fill in one of the gaps. In fact, it will probably go along the front there or something like that, or there's a little gap there, another gap there, and a big gap there. So maybe we'll put that in there. Yeah, so just a quick look round at some things to come in the not too distant future. Obviously a lot of the bulbs have faded away now. Snowdrops and daffodils long since gone. We didn't get any English bluebells this year. They weren't transplanted at the best time of year, and we had heat waves. I don't think they established very well. They are, I believe they are there. I think that's a clump there. So there are some around, but I don't believe they're going to bloom this year. You never know, they might just put up some late ones. The Spanish bluebells did okay, they established, and they'll be bigger and better next year obviously, but they're going over. The primroses and primulas are still doing okay, as are the violets, but you know, those are spring bloomers. Those will stop blooming in the not too distant future as it starts to get warmer. And now I'm going inside because quite honestly it's flipping freezing out here. I should have put a coat on. I don't even think it's 10 degrees out here at the moment. It seems about 8, even though the sun's out and there's blue sky. It's really cold. So I shall get back in the warm. I've got work to do. You'll see that on the Orchid channel. Lots of work to do. Oh dear. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by. And yet another thank you to Carol for most of the plants that you're looking at. Lily of the Valley didn't come from Carol, that came from a good friend at the Orchid Society, Helen, as did the Bugle. But yeah, most of the plants have come from Carol. And if I get, or have still got any energy left today, I should have done it while Hannah was here, but this large length of wisteria, I'm going to cut it off. Even if I don't remove it, it's hanging on by that wire, which I need to sort out. But even if I don't actually disconnect it from the fence and everything, it's starting to shoot out, and I don't want to have to deal with a section that I'm not keeping. So I may well get the saw out and just cut it off. I can sort out separating it from the fence and everything at another time. But if I cut it off, then it will stop growing, which is the plan. So we shall see. And yeah, see you next time.